Now what in the hell is Deep Rock Galactic? Well, to put it simply, space dwarves getting sent on death missions to mine rock and stone. Let me explain. Deep Rock Galactic is a game that, since its full release on May 2020, had a largely positive reception. So after letting it sit in my Steam library for a few months, I decided to give it a go. And goddamn, it's good. DRG is a 4-player co-op PvE shooter about space dwarves venturing the various procedurally generated caves, all while blasting the various locals who want to rip your heart out. It has 4 unique classes, cool weapons that are highly customizable, many interesting and sometimes intense missions, a ton of areas with their own unique ecosystems full of flora that also want to rip your heart out, and more. Alright, let's get into it. Hoxes. An extraordinarily unique planet for its rich material deposits and its extremely unwelcoming environment. Deep Rock Galactic is the only mining corp crazy enough to continue mining on this planet. Of course, despite lacking any safety precautions whatsoever, they at least kit their dwarven employees in the finest and heaviest equipment and gadgets before sending them off to their demise. These guys are the gunner, scout, engineer, and driller. Each is equipped with their own unique primary and secondary weapons, a traversal tool, a support tool, throwables, and a unique armor rake that provides resistances to certain types of damage. First we have the gunner, who is the main DPS of the team. Armed with his high-powered lead storm minigun, he can mow down small and medium-sized enemies with ease. For the bigger boys, his minigun can stun them, making them easier to take out. While you're shooting, the minigun is pretty inaccurate, but as you spray, the spray gets much tighter. It doesn't reload but instead overheats, and damn, it takes an entire year for it to cool back down. Never get caught in a horde while it overheats, you'll probably die. In the case that your minigun does end up overheating, you can always switch to your bulldog revolver. And I mean, personally, I love revolvers. In most shooters, these guns are usually always reliable, and DRG is no exception. So, the bulldog, a 4-shot revolver that hits hard, is pretty accurate, and is very good for faraway enemies that the minigun may not be able to take out, or when you shove it up an enemy's weak spot and pull the trigger. There isn't really anything else to say, it's just a good gun. The gunner's traversal tool is a zipline launcher. You can use the zipline to get from point A to point B, it's that simple. It can be pretty slow when you're on it, but if it's placed at a downward slope, you can zoom down it. Not to mention being able to shoot on it and also using it to break your 50-foot plummet to the ground. So it's all around a very reliable tool to get around that your whole team can use, so be sure to place down a bunch of these. And finally, we have the support tool, the shield generator. When you throw it down, it projects a no-no circle that keeps enemies out, and any enemies that are in it will respectfully leave. Even bigger enemies and bosses will immediately leave your no-no circle. This is a perfect tool for when you get swarmed, and also when you need to revive an ally during a swarm. It also blocks projectiles, but some projectiles have AoE, so you might still take damage if you stand too close to the edge. There are still enemies who have no respect for you or your no-no circle, and will try to knock you out of it, so be careful. The gunner's throwable is a sticky grenade. It's in the name. It sticks, it goes boom, everything dies. Lastly, the Barracuda armor rake grants resistance against explosions. Next, we have the Scout, who excels in mobility and his ability to keep dark areas lit using his flare gun. The Scout's primary is his deep core assault rifle. It deals decent damage at a medium range with manageable recoil. It's pretty good at taking out medium-sized enemies and enemies that may be in the air. His secondary is the jury-rigged boomstick. It's a double-barrel shotgun, good for quickly taking out hordes of enemies, and it's also pretty good for weak spots. And then we have the grapple hook.
Scout Gaming. Woohoo! Ah, crap! Ah!
Yeah, this grappling hook is super versatile and super fun to use. It shoots out a hook and it grapples you towards it. That's really it. It can get you to high spots and it's a great tool for getting out of hordes. There also comes the added bonus of high risk of accidental death.
I slipped!
Huh. The flare gun
Lighting
is a support tool that allows you to shoot a flare that sticks to surfaces and can keep a large area lit up for about a minute. Much better than the average flare everyone has access to. It's especially helpful during a storm since you can spend more time blasting and less time trying to see. The IFG is a grenade that doesn't damage but instead emits a field that slows and increases the damage taken of anything that's in its radius. The Fox armor rig gives you resistance to fall damage. Trust me, at the heights I fall off of, it doesn't help much. The engineer is the man, dwarf with a plan.
Stone!
Good for getting him and his team to high up spots and also holding down objectives. His Warthog semi-auto shotgun is, despite being a shotgun, is pretty good at medium ranges. It also reloads all his shells at once, which gives it an all-around faster reload. His deep core grenade launcher fires a single explosive before needing to reload, making it great for larger crowds that may or may not be devouring you and your team. His reversal tool is his platform gun. It fires a climbable platform that you and your team can use to get up to higher places. You can also fire a platform under an ore vein that is high up, so your scout can grapple up and mine it, assuming he doesn't fall off. Teamwork, you feel me? Yes sir! The LMG gun platform is an engineer support tool. He can deploy a turret and when it arrives, he can smash his hammer on it engineer style. Once fully built, the turret will fire at any enemy that comes into his range with a short burst of bullets every so often. The turret is great for suppressive fire and can actually hit pretty hard. Since it's fully automatic, you can worry about the bigger boys while your turret supports you. However, it can run out of ammo, so you can reload it when it gets low or it runs out. The engineer has limited turret ammo, so try not to run out too fast. Also, try and stay around the turret to reload it since if you forget about it, that's a bit of DPS you're gonna miss out on. If it's not targeting too many bugs anyway, you can always recall it and redeploy it somewhere else. And as a final note, even if you aren't an engineer, you could still help build this turret when it's deployed, just to get it online faster. Teamwork, you feel me? Yes! The lure is a throwable that's function is in the name. When thrown, it deploys a hologram of a dancing dwarf and the locals absolutely despise it. It's a surprisingly good distraction for getting a horde off yourself and your team. And finally, the all armor rig provides resistance against poison. Got some rock and stone in your way? Well, the driller's got your back. Great for getting around underground, the driller can easily tunnel to new areas, destroying any obstacles in his way. I also heard he makes good barbecue. The Crisper Flamethrower is his primary and is probably the best weapon in the game for pure, close range combat. It spits fire that damages anything that gets caught in it. While doing so, it increases the enemy's temperature. When the meter fills completely, the target gets set ablaze, dealing damage over time. It can also damage enemies through their armor if they have any, so it's all around a pretty cool gun. I mean, it's a flamethrower, of course it is. The Sabata 120 is a semi-auto pistol. It's good for enemies that are out of your flamethrower's reach. It's simple, uncomplicated, it's reliable. The Reinforced Power Drills, a traversal tool for traversing the underground. It can shred rock like butter, and it runs on a fuel meter, meaning if you drill for too long it can overheat and you'll need to wait to use it again. You can create long tunnelways for your team, which makes it great for creating shortcuts when you finish a mission and need to return to the drop pod. I haven't tested this out much, but apparently it can also be a pretty decent melee weapon, so there's that. It can't collect minerals, that's still the pickaxe's job, but it outclasses the pickaxe in every other way. The Satchel Charge is the driller's support tool. You can think of it as a second throwable for him. He throws it in the low arc and it sticks to terrain or bugs. When you activate it, it goes and destroys anything in its radius. Please don't get yourself where a teammate caught in a blast, I'm sure it will hurt. And the Impact Axe is his actual throwable. It's a double-headed throwing axe, great for single target damage and stuns. It does pretty high damage and will probably stun whatever it hits. This makes it great for big boy enemies because their weak spot sizes are huge and very easy to hit. They also take a bit longer to kill with the flamethrower, so you can combine these two weapons for burst damage, stuns, and ignite damage. The driller gets a lot of these guys, so use them often. The Mole Armor Rig has the most fitting name and grants resistance to fire. In DRG, there's no best class. Every class has their strengths, have their own unique gimmicks, and are straight up fun to play. Personally, the Gunner is my favorite class. Little guy, big ass gun, revolver, ass gun, high DPS, big ass gun. What's not to like? Even the driller, who's my least played, is super fun. I mean, the guy's got a goddamn flamethrower and freaking power drills. Each class can obtain an alternate primary and secondary weapon, and 2 other throwables by leveling up that class. And later I found out that they're adding more primaries. All these guns look hella cool. Their gimmicks are hella cool, and honestly, I hope they keep making more unique weapons like these. I got zero clue if this blade will be out by the time these guys come out, but it's still worth mentioning. So for the gunner, I can use the minigun, or instead I can use the Thunderhead Heavy Autocannon. It rapidly fires explosive rounds that hit a lot harder than the minigun. It also ramps up its fire rate as you keep shooting, but even at its max rate of fire, it isn't even close to the speed of the minigun. It also isn't hit scan, and it doesn't get more accurate as you fire. And instead of overheating, it reloads like normal. There's also the burst fire pistol. It fires a burst of bullets that can shred if you aim for weak spots. But it eats your ammo for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The sticky grenade is already pretty solid, but you can also use incendiary or cluster grenades. These alternatives are just that. They don't completely stomp out their original in performance, but instead provide an alternative playstyle with its own strengths and downsides. Who doesn't love choice? Speaking of which, upgrades. As you level up a class, you can also level up your gear. They can be as simple as increasing damage with that weapon, or increasing mag size, to having your gun explode when it overheats, or scaring enemies away from your bullet impacts. They can also be specific to a traversal or support tool, like increasing the amount of time your flare gun stays lit, increasing the range of your grapple, to completely negating fall damage when you land on an engineer's platform. It's crazy. This upgrade system promotes fooling around and experimenting with different combos, as you can buy every upgrade on the screen if you wanted to. It even rewards you for buying upgrades with weapon skins. It's just really good design. Like, maybe I'll build as much damage on my autocannon as possible, or having my minigun cooldown after every kill, making it so it never overheats. And finally we have perks, which come in an active form and a passive form. You can obtain perk points by completing milestones, and use the points to purchase active or passive perks. Passive perks gives you small buffs like being able to carry more minerals or getting a speed boost after running a bit. And active perks require you to activate them yourself, while giving you bigger buffs like a quick dash, being able to tame a bug, or being able to revive yourself and becoming invincible for a few seconds before going back down. Now that I got a good look at these guys, they're low-key pretty cute. Who's a good Steve? Yes, you are.
Damn dag.
There are multiple perk tiers that cost more points but offer upgrades to previous perks and unlocking new ones. You can also purchase more passive perk slots so you can have up to 3, and you can gain an additional active slot by promoting your character once you reach level 25. It even gives you a little seal of approval. Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. Perks also aren't unique to classes, so you can use any passive or active perk on anyone you want. It's really up to you. At the fact that each class has 3 level slots, there's a lot of possible combinations for gear, and even cosmetics. It's just a great system. But enough rambling, let's take a trip to the deep, deadly underground of Hoxes and see what it has to offer. In Hoxes, there are several unique biomes to explore, conquer, and get your ass beaten. Each biome has its own unique ecosystems, like underground rainforests, poisonous jungles, and whatever the hell this is supposed to be. There's areas like the salt pits that don't pose too much threat outside of the usual enemies. But then there's the fungus bogs, hollow burrow, and magma core full of poisonous plants, sharp vines, and a crap ton of lava if you ever felt like taking a hike in a microwave. There's areas like the Azure Wild that look absolutely beautiful and provides you with a lot of useful buffs and cave angels. You can glide with them and they're also pretty cute. A lot of plants react to you or each other, meaning that you can definitely influence your own death sometimes. Some biomes have hazards that affect the entire cave, like sandstorms, blizzards, and earthquakes, that can impair your vision, slow you, freeze you, and make it an all-around pain to move around.
I smell bacon.
These caves offer materials that vary from region to region. Gold is found in every cave, and when deposited adds to the amount of cash you get when you complete a mission. If you're lucky enough to find compressed gold or bitter gem, you'll be getting an even fatter check. Red sugar are small crystals that heal you when broken. Nitra is also red, and when your team deposits 80 Nitra, you can call in a resupply pod that has 4 racks on it. Each rack gives you half of your health and ammo. There's no passive HP regen in this game, so red sugar and resupplies are really the only way you can get your health back. Resupplies also being the only way to regain ammo. Collect as much Nitra as you possibly can. As a wise man once said, Nitra is like coal in Minecraft. You can never have too much. And then we have Bismore, Inner Pearls, Crappa, Jadis, Magnite, and Umanite, which are minerals that are native to different biomes. Their main use is to purchase upgrades, so make sure to mine these when you find them. I also found this weird ass cube called... Apparently it gives you more XP. Guess that's cool. A few extra gear you're equipped with when exploring is the pickaxe, flares, the laser pointer, terrain scanner, and the mule. Of course, pickaxes are used for mining, but you can also purchase an upgrade that allows you to perform heavy attacks, in case you need to resort to bug smashing. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but it can get pretty dark in here, which is why each dwarf has 4 flares that recharge over time. They are super reliable, but scouts are still great for removing the worry of keeping places lit up, since they stay lit for double a normal flare's duration. The laser pointer projects a laser that names anything you look at, like minerals,
We're rich! We're rich! We're rich! We're rich!
or enemies, and you can place a marker to alert your team to it. The terrain scanner shows a 3D map of the area, which can be very useful for accessing new or secret areas. And the mule is a minecart on legs that accompanies dwarves on most missions. It carries all your minerals for you, so when your bags are full, deposit them at the mule. If you ever decide to go in solo, that's a garbage idea. But despite that, you get accompanied by Bosco,
Did I hear a rockin' stone?
an all-purpose drone that fights for you, mines for you, and it can even revive you. You can give Bosco specific orders like mining or focus firing with the laser pointer, and it can even fire rockets when it's upgraded. Yep, even Bosco gets upgrades, like more revives or rockets that can freeze. Not too many creatures appreciate dwarves stepping into their home. There are some that don't really care, and if you shoot them they don't respond or just flee. Loot bugs are a good example. They chill and are very cute. They also eat minerals for breakfast. Sorry, buddy. As for the ones that do want you dead, there's a ton. A man like me loves enemy variety, and I'ma be honest with you guys, fighting the shit in this hellhole has been a very terrifying and very exciting experience. The most prominent species of enemies you'll find are glyphids and macteras. Glyphids are most common and mostly focused on close ranged attacks. The ones that don't are hella annoying. They come in extra small, medium, large, and extra
Damn, boy!
They can also climb up walls to get to you in high up areas, and the bigger boys can burrow through the ground and knock you into the air. It's great fun, I'm telling ya. Macteras are flying insects that focus on ranged attacks. The ones that don't are also hella freaking annoying. And then we have Nadocytes, which are the pure definition of strength in numbers. The bastards swarm you constantly, and they don't hurt by themselves. But together the damage definitely adds up. Let's not even get started on Big Man over here floating around like a fool and spewing out more of these guys. I hate him so much. But I gotta admit, that sounds satisfying as hell. Besides them, we also got sand sharks that grab, these centipede looking dudes that roll and spit, a few that don't even move and are still a threat, like cave leeches, also known as ceiling vibe checks. Every enemy in this game can pose some kind of threat, even the little guys. Why are they doing so much damage? Every enemy has a different armor strength, from light to unbreakable, in a certain spot or all around. They also all have weak spots that allow you to deal bonus damage. For glyphids, this is the head, or if they have armor, they'll probably have a huge bulb on their ass that you can shoot at.
baby.
Yeah!
Oh, that's just weird. Anyway, a few enemies are like mini bosses. This big guy is a bulk detonator. They're slow, do a shit ton of damage, and when it dies, it freezes for a moment before dropping an absolute nuke on everything around it. If that wasn't enough, after the nuke, it launches several orange blobs that can also kill you. It's kinda like running into Junkrat's bombs after he dies. It sucks, man. Like, when you see this thing, just run, man. Kill it as fast as possible. I'm having some PTSD. Even though bulk detonators terrify me, Crassius detonators are just as strong, extremely rare, and have a unique trait that sets them apart from their cousins. When they explode, everything in the nuke turns to gold? Not sure why or how, but you blow these guys up and you get so much gold you could retire. The only other time I saw this guy, I was a soul engineer and he beat my ass. I got demolished, I stood no chance. Korlock Tyrant Weed is a huge sentient plant with a bunch of sprouts around it, all ready to murder you to death. Korlock is normally invulnerable, but when you kill enough sprouts it opens up its core, and then you can just start blasting it. It can spawn pods that heal Korlock, so take those out as fast as possible. When it dies, it drops 3 Tyrant Shards that can be deposited and give a good amount of cash and XP. Betsy is another mini-boss. It used to be an absolute powerhouse of a machine that the dwarves used, but its security system is hot due to water. So parasites named Xyanash Charge Suckers were able to infect Betsy and use it against the dwarves. If you see it shut down Betsy, it'll activate and begin to attack you. It fires bursts of bullets, it has a mine launcher, it's pretty terrifying. It also stole the gunner's shield generator, so that's great. Killing the 2 parasites on Betsy will shut it down again, and once it's repaired, you get an OP death machine for the rest of the mission. Congrats! Just be careful of its bombs, they still hurt. Before going on missions, the dwarves operate in the space rig. In here, you can customize your equipment, get drunk with the boys, and customize your dwarves with cosmetics like majestic beards, hats, and skins. Who needs boob physics when you got beard physics, am I right? Over at the assignments areas where you handle your assignments, who would have thought? Assignments require you to complete a series of missions for rewards. This is how you can unlock other weapons to then buy, or a mineral trade market, which allows you to sell minerals for cash and vice versa. Assignments can also just be a solid way to get a fat sum of money. When you first start playing, you get given an assignment of 10 missions that just go over all the mission types and biomes. You actually get access to the biomes and mission types pretty early. They don't just hide it all after 50 hours of playtime, and I can appreciate that. In the mission terminal, you can select a biome, then select a mission within that region. You'll see a hazard level from 1 to 5. The hazard level affects things like enemy damage, HP, speed, and how much money and XP you'll get when you complete the mission. Each mission also has a cave complexity level, which indicates how annoying the cave will be to traverse unless you're scout.
Rock and stone!
Sometimes you'll see a modifier in the mission. These can be positive or negative modifiers. And as I thought, I can never find anyone that's willing to play with these modifiers. I mean, one thing I've realized is that this game is hard enough, especially at hazard level 4. At one moment you could be chillin', and the next you'll be getting swarmed by grunts, praetorians, and worse. And I ain't even gonna talk about hazard level 5. I haven't even thought of touching that yet. This is really not an easy game.
I'm afraid of heights!
And I'm not too sure I want to monitor my O2 level so I don't die, or have parasites burst out enemies I kill, or have cave leeches everywhere, or get swarmed by exploders. Or get chased by a massive invincible cave ghost all game. No, sir. I'll pass. Extra minerals are always good though. Currently there are 7 mission types to choose from. I'll give you a summary of these missions. Mining expedition. Find Morkite, mine Morkite, deposit, profit. Egg hunt. Find nests, take eggs, deposit eggs, profit. On-site refining. Find liquid Morkite geysers, column pump jacks on geysers, build pipes from refinery to pump jacks, survive till extraction is done. Keep your pipes clean. Profit. Salvage job. Find broken mini mules, scan mini mules for legs, find legs, attach legs, repair them, recall the mini mules to the abandoned drop pod, deploy uplink, defend, attach fuel cell to drop pod, repair that, defend that, profit. Point extraction. Find the quarks, mine the quarks, deposit when you gather all the gems, activate mine head so it can leave, survive, profit. Escort duty. Activate drill dozer, follow and protect drill dozer. When it runs out of fuel, take the canisters and refill them by lasering oil shale. It's satisfying as hell. Return the canisters and repeat until you get to this Omeron Heartstone. Defend the drill dozer from bugs, flying rocks, and crystal lasers. Collect the armor and core. Deposit. Profit. Elimination. Find dreadnought cocoons, kill whatever pops out unless it kills you. Profit. A cave's mission length and complexity can influence how long or even how hard a mission will be. Instead of only mining 200 Morkite, now I gotta mine double. Or now I gotta refill the damn drill dozer twice. Or kill 3 dreadnought bosses instead of 2. Ugh, finally a break. Let's just refuel this real quick.
The drill dozer is under attack. Get it
Oh,
fixed
come
before
on!
we-
Swarms are random events where a crap ton of enemies spawn in and murder your team. Sometimes swarms will spawn only a certain type of enemy, like grunts, mycaras, swarmers, praetorians, and even dreadnoughts. Thankfully that's never happened to me because crap, that will turn a run to shreds, I'm telling you. This is also why you should gather a lot of nitra, because after these you'll probably be low on ammo. On drill dozer missions especially for length and difficulty, you'll need nitra while following the drill dozer, while you're refilling the drill dozer, and when you reach the end. So if you don't have enough ammo, it's probably over. While doing primary objectives, you also get secondary objectives. They're optional, but pretty simple and give you more rewards, so there's zero reason not to do them. When you complete a mission, extraction starts, and you have to get back to the drop pod or else it'll leave you behind without a second thought.
Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work. Drop pod will leave with or without you.
This truly does say a lot about society. If the mule's around, it'll travel back to the drop pad where you can follow it if you get lost. On other missions, it's close enough where it won't matter anyway. You get more money for each dwarf that makes it back, and if everyone dies, you won't get your full reward, so don't die. Once you promote a class, you can now do deep dives, which have 3 phases with 2 missions each. These missions are both primary missions instead of having one secondary mission, so it makes these a lot longer. Each deep dive is pre-seeded, so the layout of that deep dive is the same every time until it changes. Modifiers are a pretty common occurrence, which can potentially make your job even harder, but at least you can get a positive one too. Things like your health, ammo, and team depository get carried over to the next phase, which means you really need to stockpile nitra. I know I keep saying it, but seriously man. Deep dives aren't really too bad, since you and your team are probably well experienced with the game at this point. But then we have elite deep dives. Never again. When completing deep dives, you get a ton of cash, and you can also get weapon, cosmetic, or blank matrix cores. You can use weapon matrix cores for weapon overclocks, cosmetic for beards, and blank ones are for events while exploring that I unfortunately came across before I promoted, but they also give weapon and cosmetic cores. When you get these cores, you can build them in the forge. Weapon overclocks come in 3 flavors: clean, balanced, and unstable. I was immediately blessed with an unstable overclock for my minigun, and it gives me a crap ton more damage, but I can't move. I overcame that pretty quickly and it's actually better than I thought. I also got an overclock for my revolver, which turns it into an actual 6-shooter, making it fire faster at the cost of damage. I got another for the Thunderhead Heavy Autocannon, which gives it a bigger splash radius and the ability to poison enemies, also at the cost of damage. Now, let's talk community. I don't think I've ever had a less toxic experience playing an online game in my entire life. I mean, with a co-op game, it may not be uncommon, but I know another co-op game that's a lot worse in that aspect, and many other aspects. That game really needs a video made on it, but that's besides the point.
Get back to the point!
I played completely with randoms, and I can't recall one time where I thought, wow, this guy's kind of a bitch. Before sending ourselves to our deaths, we just chill. It's great. There's friendly fire too, and I don't even see anyone abusing that. At least on purpose. The game itself is doing pretty well too. There's a new update that's already out, and a new mission type, among other things. Of course this video is coming out like 3 weeks after the update, and that's because my work ethic is hot due to water, yes sir. That's alright though, I'll just catch up. But still, I'm pretty hyped for the future of this game. It's 110% worth your time. I don't have anything else special to say except thank you for watching till the end. You're an absolute madman. I mean, I really thought it was a good idea to just casually drop a 30-minute video for my 5 viewers. What was I thinking? I don't even know. Anyway, drop a sub, like, whatever you want to do, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.